There's something captivating about a woman who doesn't try too hard, a woman who carries mystery in her silence, confidence in her walk, and peace in her energy. She's not the loudest in the room, yet she's the one they remember. Men might not admit it, but they never forget the women who play by their own rules, not out of games, but out of grace. These are the women who leave a mark even after the conversation ends. And today, we're uncovering those 4 rules that make her unforgettable. There's something undeniably powerful about a woman who doesn't chase. She moves with quiet confidence, knowing that her presence alone carries value. She's not desperate for attention, validation, or constant reassurance. Instead, she understands that what is meant for her will never need to be forced. This kind of woman doesn't beg to be chosen. She chooses herself first, and that energy changes everything around her. It's not arrogance, it's self-respect wrapped in grace. When she pulls back, it's not to play games, but to protect her peace. She knows that constantly reaching out, over-explaining, or proving her worth only drains her of the power that makes her unique. She lets curiosity work in her favor. Instead of giving away all her emotions and thoughts too quickly, she allows a sense of mystery to linger. People can feel that she's different, that she's not like the rest who try to fill every silence with words. Her quiet confidence makes others lean in, wondering what's behind that calm demeanor. And that's the beauty of attraction built on energy rather than effort. She knows that being less available doesn't make her cold. It makes her rare. The world often rewards those who seem hard to reach, not because of the chase, but because value increases with rarity. She invests her time in things that elevate her. While others may spend hours trying to win attention, she's building her goals, nurturing her passions, and growing stronger in her individuality. That independence radiates through everything she does, from the way she carries herself to the way she speaks. When she smiles, it's genuine. When she listens, it's with purpose. She doesn't fake interest or bend herself to fit into someone else's expectations. She understands that attraction isn't about being perfect, but about being at peace with who you are. And when she walks away, she does it gracefully. No drama, no bitterness, no attempts to prove a point. Just silence, the kind that says more than 1,000 words ever could. That silence is what lingers. It leaves people wondering, replaying moments, missing her calm yet confident energy. It's the quiet aftermath of self-respect that makes her unforgettable. Because when a woman stops chasing and starts living with intention, she doesn't lose people. She loses everything that was never meant to stay. And in that freedom, she becomes truly magnetic. She understands that her life is not meant to revolve around anyone else, not around love, not around validation, not around constant attention. Her happiness blooms from within, from the quiet satisfaction of chasing her own dreams and nurturing her own world. She has built a life that feels full even when no one is watching. Her mornings begin with purpose, not expectation, and her nights end with gratitude, not loneliness. She has learned that true beauty isn't in being adored by others, but in being deeply in love with her own journey. That's what makes her stand out. People sense that she doesn't need them to complete her, she's already whole. While others may lose themselves in relationships, she never forgets who she is. She still chases her ambitions, still keeps her friendships alive, still makes time for the things that make her soul feel alive. She doesn't cancel her dreams for anyone's convenience. That balance between love and individuality is what makes her so magnetic. She brings energy to the table, not emptiness waiting to be filled. She doesn't expect someone else to bring joy into her life. She invites them to share in the joy she already has. That difference is what creates lasting admiration. When she invests in her passions, she glows differently. Her confidence doesn't come from compliments, but from competence, from knowing she's capable of creating her own happiness. Whether it's through her work, her art, her hobbies, or her goals, she continues to evolve. That growth becomes her power. It keeps her mind sharp, her energy pure, and her presence inspiring. People can't help but feel drawn to her because she embodies freedom, emotional, mental, and spiritual. She's not looking for someone to rescue her. She's looking for someone strong enough to walk beside her. And when love comes into her life, She gives without losing herself. She knows how to care without clinging, how to love without losing her edge. She creates space for connection, not dependency. And if someone walks away, her world doesn't fall apart. It simply keeps moving because it was never built around them in the first place. That's what makes her unforgettable. She's not the woman who waits by the phone. She's the woman who lives, learns, and glows regardless. And in a world full of dependency, that kind of independence becomes impossible to forget. She has mastered the quiet art of emotional control, not by suppressing her feelings, but by understanding them. She feels deeply, but she doesn't let those emotions dictate her every move. She has learned that reacting impulsively often gives away power, so she chooses to respond with grace instead. When something hurts her, she doesn't create chaos to prove her pain. She processes it in silence, allowing time and self-awareness to do the healing. That calmness doesn't mean she's cold. It means she's wise. It means she knows the difference between expressing emotion and being consumed by it. Her strength lies in her ability to stay composed even when everything inside her feels uncertain. While others might rush to send messages they'll regret later, she takes a deep breath, steps back, and allows perspective to settle in. She knows that not every situation deserves her reaction, and not every person deserves her energy. Her peace is her priority, and she protects it like a sacred space. People often mistake her calm for indifference, but it's actually discipline, the kind that comes from learning hard lessons and realizing that emotional chaos never leads to clarity. There's something magnetic about that kind of control. When she speaks, she chooses her words carefully. When she listens, she does so with full attention, not with the intent to respond, but to understand. She has learned that silence can be more powerful than confrontation, and walking away can be louder than any argument. Her calmness commands respect. It doesn't scream for attention. It quietly earns it. People remember how she handled moments of conflict, not with drama, but with dignity. That's what sets her apart. And when she feels pain, she allows herself to feel it privately, to heal without making it a spectacle. She journals, prays, meditates, or simply spends time alone, anything that helps her reconnect with her inner balance. That emotional maturity becomes her shield. She doesn't depend on others to stabilize her. She has built her own inner peace brick by brick. And when someone encounters her, they can feel it. That rare combination of empathy and emotional stability. It makes her unforgettable. Because true composure is rare in a world driven by impulsive reactions. She's the calm in the storm, and once someone has felt that peace, they never forget how it felt to be near her energy. She never stops growing. That's what makes her unforgettable. Her journey is a constant evolution, not a destination. She understands that every chapter of life has something to teach, and she embraces change instead of fearing it. While others may become comfortable in routine or stuck in old versions of themselves, she continues to evolve, refine, and rise. She feeds her mind with knowledge, her heart with new experiences, and her soul with purpose. That hunger to become better every day gives her a glow that no makeup or attention can replicate. It's a kind of beauty that radiates from the inside out, quiet, powerful, and magnetic. She doesn't wait for someone to inspire her. She inspires herself. Her goals keep her grounded, her ambitions keep her focused, and her curiosity keeps her alive. She invests in her growth, reading, learning, exploring, creating. Whether she's mastering a new skill, improving her mindset, or simply learning from her past, she never lets life make her stagnant. Even in heartbreak or hardship, she looks for lessons, not losses. That mindset transforms her pain into power and her setbacks into strength. People who once underestimated her often find themselves in awe of how gracefully she rises. Her growth also shows in the way she treats others. She listens differently. She speaks with empathy. She no longer competes or compares because she understands that everyone moves at their own pace. Instead of tearing others down, she uplifts them. Her energy doesn't come from proving she's better. It comes from knowing she's becoming the best version of herself. That quiet confidence is rare, and people feel it. They can sense that she's on her own path, not chasing validation or living for the spotlight. She's focused on evolving, not impressing. And perhaps the most beautiful part is that she never loses her softness in the process. Growth hasn't hardened her. It has deepened her. She's still kind, still compassionate, but now with wisdom behind her eyes. She no longer seeks to be understood by everyone because she understands herself. That's the kind of woman who stays in people's memories. Not because she tried to be perfect, but because she kept growing even when no one was watching. She becomes unforgettable because every time someone thinks they know her, she's already become something more. She carries a softness that feels like peace. But make no mistake that peace has power behind it. Her kindness is real, but it doesn't come from weakness. It comes from strength. She knows exactly who she is, what she stands for, and what she will or will not accept. People are drawn to her gentle energy because it feels safe, calm, and genuine, yet they quickly realize that behind that gentle tone is a woman with unshakable boundaries. She can listen with compassion, forgive with grace, and love with depth. But she will never let anyone cross the line that protects her self-respect. That balance is what makes her magnetic. She's soft enough to care, but strong enough to walk away. Her softness is her secret weapon. It disarms people, makes them open up, and builds trust. But when someone tries to take advantage of that, they're met with quiet firmness. She doesn't shout, argue, or prove her point. She simply withdraws her energy. And that silence says everything. It's the kind of power that doesn't need validation. It's felt, not forced. She understands that being kind doesn't mean tolerating disrespect, and being empathetic doesn't mean accepting less than she deserves. That understanding keeps her balanced in a world where extremes are common, where people either close off completely or give too much of themselves away. Her strength shines in how she chooses her battles. She doesn't fight to be right, she fights for peace. She's not interested in drama or revenge because she knows her worth isn't tied to how others treat her. It's reflected in how she responds. That's the kind of maturity that leaves a lasting impression. People remember how she made them feel seen, yet how she never lost herself in trying to please them. They remember how her warmth never faded, even when she was hurt, but also how her boundaries never wavered, even when she cared deeply. There's beauty in that duality, soft but unbreakable, loving but guarded, compassionate but confident. It's a rare mix that stands out in a world that often values loudness over balance. She doesn't have to prove her strength by being harsh, nor her kindness by being naïve. She simply exists in harmony with both sides of herself, and that authenticity lingers long after she's gone, because people might forget her words, but they never forget the feeling of being around someone who radiated calm power. The woman who embodied softness wrapped in steel. She doesn't need to shout to be noticed. Her silence does the talking. There's a rare kind of confidence in a woman who knows her worth without having to announce it. She doesn't seek validation or compete for attention because deep down she understands that true presence doesn't need performance. Her quiet energy speaks louder than any words could. When she walks into a room, it's not her volume that draws attention. It's the calm assurance in her eyes, the way she carries herself, and the peace that surrounds her. People feel her energy before she even speaks, and that's what makes her unforgettable. She's learned that silence is not emptiness, it's power. In a world where everyone is eager to explain, prove, and defend themselves, she stays still. She doesn't waste her energy trying to convince anyone of her value. She lets her actions and aura do it for her. When something or someone doesn't align with her peace, she simply steps back. No arguments, no bitterness, no long explanations. That quiet exit says everything, that she values herself too much to remain where she's not respected or understood. That kind of calm detachment leaves an impression that words never could. Her silence also carries depth. When she listens completely. When she observes, she sees more than most. She notices energy, not just words. She understands people beyond what they say because she's comfortable with stillness, the kind that reveals truth. That awareness makes her presence grounding. People find comfort in her calmness without realizing why. It's because her confidence doesn't demand space. It naturally creates it. And when she does speak, her words matter because she doesn't talk to fill silence. She speaks to bring clarity, to express truth, to connect. That's why her voice carries weight. It's not used often, but when it is, it's meaningful. People remember what she says because it comes from authenticity, not ego. She doesn't rush, doesn't compete, doesn't beg to be heard. She simply is. And that being calm, steady, self-assured is what stays in people's minds long after she's gone. In the end, it's not noise that makes someone unforgettable, it's energy. And hers is the kind that lingers quietly, not in chaos, but in memory. Because when someone has felt the peace of her silent confidence, they find that no amount of noise ever feels the same again. In the end, what makes her unforgettable isn't beauty, words, or charm. It's presence. She doesn't chase, she attracts. She doesn't depend, she evolves. She doesn't break down, she balances. Every rule she lives by isn't about controlling others, it's about mastering herself. Her silence, her boundaries, her peace, and her growth all come together to form something rare. Emotional intelligence wrapped in grace. She's not trying to be the one everyone remembers. She simply lives so authentically that people can't forget her. She's the kind of woman who leaves a mark without trying to, who inspires without speaking, who teaches by simply being. Her strength isn't loud, but it's lasting. Her softness isn't weakness, but wisdom. And even when she walks away, her energy lingers like a quiet echo, reminding others what self-respect, inner peace, and true confidence look like. That's why men secretly miss her, and people in general can't replace her. Because she didn't just play by different rules, she became the rule book. The kind of woman who doesn't need to be remembered, yet somehow always is.